Hello! In this video, we're going to show you a high-level overview of Pipe17, focusing on our connectivity and order orchestration capabilities. So here we are at our dashboard. It is your live ops view of what's happening in your omni-channel order operations. What orders we've received today, what's been shipped, what requires our attention, and different exceptions that help us contextualize what we need to do in order to fix an error with an order before it impacts customer service. The dashboard's wonderful, but let's dive into our connectivity. You can see that in this environment, we have a whole lot of selling channels and fulfillment providers, 3PLs, as well as WMSs, ERPs, even returns management systems connected. Let's pop in to see what's behind each one of these integrations. Taking a look at Shopify first. All Pipe17 integrations have a settings and a custom mappings page. The settings follow a very similar path where you can toggle on or off different flows depending on the type of connector. Shopify is a selling channel, so the first flow we can encounter is push or pull orders. You can see here we've enabled pulling orders from Shopify into Pipe17. We're pushing products to Shopify, likely because NetSuite is our master product catalog, and any updates we're going to be sending out to all of our connected selling channels, as well as inventory locations being warehouses or 3PLs. And there's a plethora of settings and configuration options that you can have with your Shopify integration. Keeping this demo moving, let's go back to our integrations and take a look at one of our fulfillment types. Here we are at our Lodua integration. Again, we're at our settings page where we can see the types of flows that we have enabled for our Pipe17 account. Instead of pulling orders, we are going to be pushing orders in the form of shipping requests to Lodua. We're also going to be pulling inventory and pulling fulfillments from Lodua. Fulfillments will end up being pushed back to the selling channel as well as our ERP. And as you keep going down, you can really get a sense for all the bells and whistles that Pipe17 can help you with. Arrivals and receipts for purchase orders and transfer orders, locations for multi-node networks. And going back, let's dive into an ERP integration, NetSuite. Here we can see the different flows we have enabled. We can see the customizations, the different filters. And let's take a look at the mapping section for NetSuite, because ERPs are most often extremely customized based on your business needs and how you've configured your ERP. So every Pipe17 connector comes pre-configured and pre-mapped. So all these different entity maps are already set for you when you install the connector in Pipe17. But for some connectors, ERPs particularly, you'll want to do some customization. Pipe17 enables you to do that with custom mapping fields. And you can see there's a whole bunch of entity types that you can work with here. Let's go take a look at the real backbone of Pipe17, orders. And here we can see the most recent orders. We can also sort and filter to find any type of orders we need, but let's take a look at one specifically. And here we are at the order details page. We can see when it was ordered, ingested, routed, and it's currently sent to fulfillment, not yet fulfilled. And we can scroll down in this order detail page to take a look at the different SKUs and line items that are in here, any information that's being pulled from the order source, Shopify in this instance, customer info, status of payment, various activity updates. Let's dive into order routing. And order routing is how Pipe17 sends orders to the optimal fulfillment destination. From an order details page, if we're curious about why it was sent to a fulfillment location, we can just click through here into the routing history. And with just a simple click through from our order details page, we can see all the information behind why it was routed to the fulfillment destination that it was. Scrolling through here is a ton of information. We can see the rules that it passed through. It did not fit this first rule or the second rule, and then it ended up being fulfilled based on the correct rule and logic. What are these rules? I'm glad you asked. Let's go dive into order routing. Order routing is a fundamental capability in Pipe17. It allows you to send orders to the optimal fulfillment location automatically with no manual facilitation required. In this example, we can see that we have just a handful of order routing rules. The first one being aptly named TikTok and B2B to Lodua. So the filters are going to be set in here to ensure that any TikTok orders or B2B orders are being captured in this check, and it will send it to our Lodula fulfillment location. Additionally, we have two more rules in this example, where if it's state-driven from Shopify, we will send it to the correct fulfillment location closest to the state. And if all else fails, we have this backup rule to always default to Lodula if it's not TikTok Shop and B2B, or there's not a good state, most likely international order. So order routing is a really important feature of Pipe17, but it's not the only business automation you can have. Let's go take a look at automations. And automations in Pipe17 can be on a whole plethora of different types of data. In this example, we're looking at order automations, but we can see here we can also do automations on shipping requests, fulfillments, exceptions. So really the ability to make your operations tailored to your business's needs and priorities. Taking a look at these automations, we can see for new rules, we are going to hold any new order source orders in review required during holidays, but actually this one's disabled. So makes sense, we're not during the holiday season right now. If you want to rerun that rule when the holidays approach, all you have to do is come in and click enable and it'll pick right back up. Another example of a order automation is this rule here. Hold Shopify orders if they have a pre-order tag. So here we can see that's set to tags. We're going to hold it to 15 minutes. And then after that, we are going to push it to review required. So we are wanting a manual check before routing to fulfillment. A pretty common example is if we look at this TikTok hold rule down here. Different selling channels have different buyer cancellation windows. And Pipe17 makes it really easy to conform to those cancellation windows because you can set a filter based on that specific channel. Here it's TikTok and the action of holding for X amount of time. In this example, it's 70 minutes. After that, we will send it to fulfillment, which means it will go through our order routing logic, be sent to fulfillment, and subsequently, all the different data will flow to our connectors. Once an order is fulfilled, the inventory will be adjusted on both the order source, TikTok, Shopify, Amazon, as well as all your other connected selling channels. Your ERP will be in sync at all times, and your fulfillment warehouses will always have the most up-to-date product listings and SKUs. There's a whole lot more to Pipe17. There's SKU maps and shipping method maps, and we have statement automation and reconciliation reports and exception management and a whole list, but we want to keep this demo high level. So if you want to learn more about the advanced features of Pipe17 and really how you can automate your entire commerce operations, dive deeper into our content. But for today, thank you very much for watching our demo, and happy operating.